Hey everybody, welcome to Country Girl with Kathy Jarvis. And today we're going to do a quick little tour of the greenhouse in the first week of July. And this is the high greenhouse. As you can tell, it is a jungle. Even with me planting less seeds than last year. I got the Brandywine tomatoes, and I tried these new stakes to trestle it this year, and as you can see, some of them worked, but most of them failed. So I may have to find something else for the Brandywine tomatoes. Underneath this is the early contender green beans, which are doing great. Over here I have my onions and my leeks, my hot peppers, my mint, the sweet corn, which is starting to tassel. I have more green beans underneath it. Over here I have more peppers, and then I have my 42-day tomatoes, which are doing wonderful, and the popcorn, which is almost reaching the top of the greenhouse and tasseling. And then over here I've got my lacy housewife green bean po beans. Now these I can take seeds off of because they are a heirloom variety. Over here I have straight 8 cucumbers growing, and down here I have more onions. I've got some radish that I've been letting go to seed. And that's it in the high greenhouse. Okay, the low greenhouse, July, peppers are doing really well. The banana peppers are doing better than the California Wonders. California Wonders just have not really shot up really well. Over here we have the po beans. These are the blue legs. They're doing really well. Over here had peas and radishes and cucumber growing, and it's doing well. Brussels sprouts are doing wonderful. Swiss chard is doing really well, and so is the kale and the celery. And got more Brussels sprouts here. These two planters, I need to water them daily, and I keep forgetting, so there's nothing really growing in them right now. The strawberries have all died, and the lettuce over here died. This I had peas on, and I got carrots in between. The carrots are doing really well. I did plant a cucumber here, but it never took off, so I'm gonna have to come out here and put another cucumber in. And here are the other tomatoes, the Roma tomatoes. They are doing really well. Of all the trellises that I tried for tomatoes, these have been the best. And of course, when I try to reorder them, they said they're currently unavailable. But I do enjoy these. They have done really well. And what I really like about them is, if like this one here has gone off to the side, all you have to do is unhook it, push it back in, and hook it back up without disturbing the whole plant, which is really a good thing. So this is what the small greenhouse, well, the low greenhouse, looks like. So it's doing really well also. Now let's go check out the herb house. The catnip has gone crazy. It's blooming now, and usually it's covered with bees. I harvested a third of it, and I still have all this left, which I'm going to probably be cutting back again another third. I like to leave some of it for the bees. And the rosemary's doing really well back here in the corner, and the borage is pretty much done blooming. so it will be reseeding itself. That's what these little pods are. Those are well, that one's empty. That's where the seeds are, and they reseed themselves. So I have plenty of borage in here. So I just got borage, rosemary, and the catnip. Now I had some regular spearmint in here, but the catnip took over. So the spearmint is now in a container in the high greenhouse. This is the poor tomato trellis. It's doing great, but it's not exactly what I wanted. I had planned on putting these into a single stem, like in the high greenhouse, and they just didn't do anything. And then we had a big rain and couldn't get out here, and they took off. Now, my poor melon patch, it's not doing as well as I would like. The watermelon, see, I got low watermelons there, but the vines are starting to dry out, and it's not due to lack of water because they have an irrigation system on them. No problem there. And I do have some watermelons coming, and these vines do look okay. But the butternut squash, something happened. I'm not sure for sure what. I have my suspicion, but I'm not for sure. I've checked. I did not see any squash bugs on them or anything. And actually, squash bugs do not like, or so they say, they don't like butternut squash. I've never had squash bugs on the butternut squash before. They've always taken everything else out, but not the squash. So we got this little part here gone. Now this is doing really well. This is they're kind of wilted a little bit right now because of the heat, but they're doing fine. This watermelon's doing really well, but this pumpkin over here also is dying out. Now, what I suspect happened is last week they sprayed this cornfield. And right now, as you can tell, there's a little bit of wind. Wind usually comes from that direction. And what I'm thinking is that when he turned the corner, we got drifts here and we got drifts there of their weed killer. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm pretty sure that's what's taken these two areas out. If it was anything else, I'd say it was a bug or a disease or something, but since it's just in these two little areas and everything in between is fine, that makes me wonder. But it happens. It happens. You're never guaranteed a harvest when you plant. You just hope. The bee garden, it's blooming up nicely. The daisies are blooming. The little rose down there is blooming. I wish it would grow bigger, but it's kind of staying small. The phlox back there is blooming nicely. Volunteer glads are blooming. Now this is where I planted flowers this year, and again, when the rain came, it really let the weeds grow, and I just have not had time to get in here and weed. So it's that's the way it is. The cosmos and the zinnias are doing fine. The sunflowers are coming up nicely. The tomatoes back there, they were a disappointment. I've never really had good crops in this area, so that's the reason I turned it into a flower. We had potatoes in here, and they never did any good. And it looks like most of the tomatoes, these are little cherry tomatoes that I could have saved the seeds from, but they don't look like they did too well. This one was supposed to have a cantaloupe in it. I can see the cantaloupe, but it never really took off growing. So again, I need to get in here and weed that, but we just got one little cantaloupe in there, so that didn't do very good. I need to get in here and weed my irises again, especially around by the greenhouse. And then over here I had planted old lima bean seeds. Didn't know if they were going to work or not. They didn't, so we're letting this in-ground bed rest this year. Something took out the zucchinis. They were doing beautifully. Took out the borage too. And so I'm going to have to get in here and clean this one out and replant more zucchinis if I want zucchinis. They were doing so good. They were producing like crazy. I was getting more zucchinis than I needed. And then wham bam, this is what happened one morning. So I'm pretty sure this is a borer that got into them. It looks like I do have one zucchini there, huge, to take care of. Cabbage, I need to harvest them. I got some here in the center that have died off. I got 3 good cabbages I need to get. And this is the Brussels sprouts behind them. And then over here, I have my cauliflower and my broccoli. I need to hoe the broccoli. It's done. We've gotten our harvest off of it. So I need to get out here and clean this bed out. And same thing with the cucumber, the bush cucumbers. Now this is kind of embarrassing. I've got all these cucumbers that have gone past due. It just never got out here. I just could not find the time to get out here. Had to clean the kitchen off before I could make pickles, and I do that in the upstairs kitchen, and just didn't get around to doing it. So I'm gonna have to pull these cucumbers off and see what happens. I need to weed the strawberry bed. It's not doing that great. And asparagus is doing wonderful. Little tomatoes are ready. These are my pear tomatoes. So I need to get out here and get those harvested today. And the potatoes, regular potatoes, are done. I need to harvest them. Sweet potatoes over there are doing wonderful. And we've gotten the blackberries. I need to trim them and take care of them. Other than that, that's what the garden looks like in July. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. And remember to like, share, subscribe. Dream big, follow that dream, and pray for our country. Bye, everybody. God bless. Bye.